It's like I'm waiting for it. Denver Broncos Mile High View, no commercials, no bullshit. All right, we must know. We must be able to predict the future. We must have crystal balls or something that other people don't have. Yeah. Von Miller did just what we said. Personally, I'm not buying the Broncos side of the story or Von Miller's side of the story. I think both sides mutually agree to part ways. I think it went both ways. What's your take on our prediction, our bold prediction?
I think our bold prediction went exactly the way we thought it would go. I think that Von Miller's happy to be in Los Angeles. Obviously, that's why he was dancing on the sideline, not hurt. I just want to say this to STR, who's saying that we're happy we got rid of Von Miller. I sent you a video of him talking to an actual reporter from the Los Angeles Rams who actually gets it, and they were talking about the defensive line in the front seven with Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Sheldon Day, and all those other guys on that defensive line who they're developing properly. And what did Von Miller say about that?
Well, he talked about the push up the middle being the whole key that everything centers around. And hold on a second, you don't get that from your Oakley, Dokley, Stokeleys. You don't get that from anybody at STR. We've been saying it. That, yes. Yeah, there. It's just the blame game. Blame the coach. Blame, but never blame the one guy who really should be taking a fall for all of this stuff.
I agree with you 100%. Von Miller's happy to be out of that toxic organization now that John Elway has instilled in that organization. And you can clearly see the mental stability that he is going to have when it comes to being in a proper organization when they actually do it right, developing players. He is going to be more excited to play alongside Matthew Stafford and that offense and that offensive line, and most importantly, that front seven. But to Mile High Huddle and all the STR platforms, I thought Matthew Stafford was a shoo-in to come into Denver, right? Remember that?
He didn't do it. He
didn't say that. We didn't say that.
He did just exactly what Mile High View was saying all along. He went where he wanted to go, which was Los Angeles with the Rams. And I wonder why he didn't want to come here. I don't know.
Yeah, but the offensive line. Yeah.
That they're now finally agreeing and admitting that at least some of them are. There's others at STR. You're being cut off right now. Nobody can hear you. So go ahead. Say what you just said.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that. So it took him 8-9 weeks to figure out that this offensive line is shit. Okay, time out. You mean 5 to 6 years that they're finally admitting that this offensive line is dog shit? Wow, you guys are delusional.
Well, they're begrudgingly admitting it. I did film. Say it again.
Because it's obvious.
Yeah, I did film study. My last film study, I showed they even have problems run blocking. It's not just pass pro; it's run blocking too. And we will talk about this film study I do. Nobody wants to see this film study. It's like like a vampire. Get away! Yeah, exactly. You use some network film.
You use highlight reels.
You use network. You had a word for it. Network.
Highlight reels.
Highlight reels. They weren't highlight reels. They were just broadcast. I think you said net broadcast. But before we get into that, there's a revelation that came out. How come sports talk radio and Mile High, whatever, all the online yahoos, butt scratchers, whatever you want to call them, Why do they keep saying George Payton picked Surtain when it came out? It was verified by the Denver Post and by the GM himself, George Payton.
Mike Kliss,
who, and we have to keep saying this, you know, you can choose not to believe it, but it was verified. Who picked Surtain?
John Elway.
John Elway, the operations and the chief of player.
Director of player personnel.
Director of player personnel. Yeah, and who would be instrumental in seeing Von Miller walk out the door? Would it not be the director of
player personnel, John Elway? Man, you guys are.
It just, yeah, I know. It's amazing. It's really amazing. But in all these revelations that came out, what did Sandy Clough, of all people, part of STR, what did he say? And played the clip of coming out of the mouth of Vic Fangio about had he had the choice, Surtain would not have been the pick. It would have been
Zaven Collins.
No, he said it was Micah Parsons.
Micah Parsons. My apologies.
He said Micah Parsons.
I still would have took Zaven Collins over Micah.
Yes, because
in this defense.
No, well, not just this defense. This defense, the Denver Broncos, they need coverage linebackers, like desperately need, and that's Zaven Collins' specialty is coverage. Now we're going to go to Dallas, and that other linebacker best fits that system, right?
Yep, I agree.
So the coach says, "Hey, I'm not allowed. I'm supposedly the head coach. We all know he was defensive coordinator, or director of defense for the Denver Broncos, whatever you want to." Maybe okay, he's got a little bit more say than the defensive coordinator, but essentially he's the GM of the defense, I guess. But the offense is all about Elway, and of course corners was Elway. Now I don't know. I would say that would be all Elway because I would think that George Payton sided with, and I think the reason that Vic Fangio brings this up is like, you're going to fire me, but I'm letting it out there that I did want this, but I was told, no, don't. So what have we been telling, or what's our message been about what's really going on with the Denver Broncos? That Vic Fangio is not allowed to basically pick the players at the top, the ones he needs for his defense. And we're going to get into let's get into this too. We'll get into firing the coach since we're just to get on a roll here. I have a candidate for the next head coach. Would you like that candidate?
Go for it.
Go on to the Denver Broncos website and look for the person in charge of equipment. That's my candidate for the head coach for the Denver Broncos moving forward because it doesn't make a flipping difference because this team's going to get sold soon. And whoever's that person who's dumb enough to want to be a head coach here at the Denver Broncos, knowing that there's an owner just around the corner, they're gonna be on a short leash. Am I just like not, don't know what I'm talking about?
No, you are on the money. You're hitting the nail right on the head. I agree with you. My next head coach would be the strength and conditioning coach for the Denver Broncos.
Yeah.
This makes no sense for them to do their 10 coaching candidates to replace Vic Fangio. Ellen Moore, like Mile High Huddle and all these idiot outlets, Cody Rourke and all of them. It's funny because they forget the biggest elephant in the room, and that's John Elway and ownership. And yet they continue to focus on George Payton and Vic Fangio, the onion layers to that certain problem in that organization. So we're going to sit here and we're going to try and beg and plead for the offense coordinator, Kellen Moore from the Cowgirls, to come here. We're begging and pleading for Brian Dable. We're begging and pleading for Eric Bieniemy to come here, just to bring up a few examples of the guys they want. But it's not going to make a flipping difference because Vic Fangio, if he had the player personnel reign that he had in Chicago, this defense would look completely different. He would have got Rashawn Slater or Zaven Collins, one of the two. It wouldn't have been Micah Parsons. I agree. The call went out to Micah Parsons as well, but he doesn't fit the defense that we're running in Denver and Vic Fangio.
I'm just saying what Vic Fangio said. That's what he said. So
I understand that, but I think that he made that call because Michael Parsons is versatile in his skill set. But I'm going to get to that when we talk about the Cowgirls. But again, we're going back to the correlation with the coaching hire. There's going to be no coaching hire here that is going to make a difference until we get a proper owner in place and John fucking Elway's out of this organization.
Absolutely. But that's I guess they got an audience of a ship of fools, I guess.
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Gulp, yeah. What? Yeah. Let's not really look into that too much and realize how. I mean, I look at it this way. We both know Fangio's gone. I mean, that's neither here or there.
That's why Miller's gone. I guarantee that's part of the deal. Vic Fangio's gone.
Yeah, Vic Fangio. Like thank you, Vic Fangio. Thank you, God, thank you.
And he'll go somewhere else and succeed and shove it to all STR platforms and everybody else that said that he couldn't get it done in Denver. Just watch. Just same with Mike Munchak too. Same with Mike Munchak.
Oh yeah, they're all gone. Simmons is going to be gone, their little darling. Draymond Jones will be gone, their little darling. Garret Holds will be gone, their little darling.
God.
And it's going to look completely different in the next couple of years. It's just going to look completely. We don't know if it's better. It couldn't be much worse, that's for sure.
Yep.
But no, it's just discussing deck chairs on the Titanic. Just a useless conversation that you're just wasting your time with.
Yep.
It's just a waste of time. It doesn't make a difference. Does Stokely have a guy picked already?
Yep.
Okay, then who does Elway want? Who does Elway want?
Jeff Fisher.
Did he say Jeff Fisher? Are you kidding me?
No.
Oh, Ted Lasso.
Man, he's a proper yes man.
Ted Lasso. That's Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso, man. He getting Ted Lasso there. Look at a young Jeff Fisher. He's Ted Lasso. That's too funny. Yeah, I mean, we could get Ted Lasso and just for a while, everybody have a party, So yeah, that's just trash talk, Von Miller time. That's for sure. It's Miller time. Trash talk, Von Miller time.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, they just Oakley Dokley still couldn't just stop, man. They were just on a roll. Well, the stats. I got the stats. I said, well, let's look into those stats and what. Well, hold on a second. Hold on. Let's look into the stats. I'm going to go and I'm going to link to that interview, and then.
Yeah. Oh God.
Go ahead.
This is why I'm so ahead of the game when it comes to these idiots, and they played in the National Football League, and it's so, just so flabbergasting to me that idiots get paid for this and I don't. And Von Miller, if you want to look at a stat, okay, for all the stat nerds out there, I'll give you this. Sacks don't mean anything to me. It's the pressure rate. That's what I look at. I'm not looking at sacks. I'm looking at the pressure rate. And Von Miller was high on that list. And he was getting double teamed and triple teamed a lot of the time. Stokely and Zach Bye and Sandy Clough and, all these Cecil Lammy and all these idiots that like to go by stats, Mile High Huddle as well, and Cody Rourke. You guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about when it comes to that type of statistic. Because when you look at the film, not the highlight film that you like to look at, supposedly, just kidding. When you don't have push up the middle, like what you're going to see on Sunday night with the Rams, what is that going to do for the edge players? Please explain to me.
Oh, it's going to be the pincer attack. It's going to be the pincer attack.
Yeah.
We saw this in the you just said that, right? We saw this in the Super Bowl. We saw this in the Super Bowl. It's the model. I personally call it the Wade Phillips model. You bring in just like an icebreaker. You bring in that push up the middle, breaking that ice right into the quarterback's face, right? And then your edge rusher's right there, man. It's the pincer attack.
Yeah, where are you going to go? DeMarcus Ware or Von Miller? Malik Jackson, Derek Wolfe, apply the pressure. Where are you going to go? DeMarcus Ware, Von Miller. People for STR, you're so stupid. I'm sorry. I have to say it because I'm sick and tired of them having – you guys wanted to destroy that Wade Phillips model. Yes, Mr. Elway. Yes, Joe Woods. Vance Joseph. You wanted to destroy that model and get rid of the player personnel on the defensive line and overhype guys like Shelby Harris and the most of all, Draymond Jones.
Well, you know who else they actually overhyped at the time they were destroying the defensive line. They were overhyping Von Miller, saying, "Well, we don't need those guys up front." When Von Miller himself said, "If it wasn't for them, there would be no Von." Basically, Von Miller said that. I didn't say it. I mean, I'll tell you another Super Bowl we saw. This was the Super Bowl that Brady was in and lost with the Giants. Same thing. You just can't beat that. It's just unbeatable. And Brady's always complaining like, "I want that Super Bowl back." It would never be. The outcome would always be the same.
Same with the Tampa Bay Super Bowl we saw last year. You guys forget
Mahomes. And you know what? I'm beginning to wonder if what Tampa did to Mahomes what Tampa did to Mahomes is what we saw happen to Cam Newton. You just can't recover from it.
No, he mentally got abused.
Well, I mean, if you're, and what happens too? You said these. You were offline. You were saying something about. I'm going to go on, but you said that the players themselves don't know shit, and I'm agreeing with that. A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't know shit. And just playing myself, I can tell you that. I can verify that. The people like Mahomes, for instance, or maybe Cam Newton, they get put in their head they're God. They don't realize. One person who I think has that best handle is Brady on it. He fully understands the components. You're not the God. You're just a guy. If you don't have all those pieces, you're going to go to pieces if you think you're the guy. And Mahomes' pieces are falling apart, and what is he doing? He's reaching. He's trying. He's extending, and it's not working out because those parts aren't there. Well, my advice to Mahomes would be: you better eat a little humble pie, and you're going to have to just take what you get. You're going to have to do like everybody else is doing that doesn't have the team around them. You're going to have to be patient and just be smart. You're going to have to be smart more than ever now, and you're going to have to just take what the defense will give you. It's just football 101. There's no magic. So let's get that Zach Thomas. Zach Wilson. Excuse me. Zach Thomas. Zach Wilson. Let's get that Zach Wilson. Yeah, man. That Zach Wilson. He's going to wave magic wands all over the place. Didn't we say that with him, that's exactly what we were going to see?
Yeah. And look, who's having the most successful rookie year in terms of quarterbacks? Mac Jones?
Yeah, and I said that's the fit. I said that's the team that he needs to go to because that's the fit. Because they have he's going to an organization that knows what they're doing. With somebody like him. And it's like a target or a ripple effect in a pond. Yeah, already got the system. You already got the system. You already got the core understanding. Okay, you go out and get your quarterback. That's fine. You got lucky and he happened to be there. Now you can keep working on your lines. Maybe maybe you could throw a wide receiver and tight end bone every now and then you can go get that defense.
And see what we're talking about. See, you're speaking Martian here. Okay, they don't the fans and them and all them don't.
Forget the fans. It's Cody Rourke.
John Elway
doesn't get it.
What you're talking, yeah, exactly. John Elway doesn't get it. What you're speaking directly to him is Martian. He doesn't get it.
I know. None of those people do. But I'm going to put that link that you sent me of that interview, and they're talking Martian. They're talking what this organization doesn't get. And before this deal went down, and I said, look, the Rams can afford to move some people around because they know how to develop players. And Pittsburgh's kind of the same way too. They would move some players around too because they always know how to develop from the core on out. The Patriots have always been that way. The Ravens, to some extent, have been that way as examples. Now it seems like the Chiefs had an idea. They may have to go back to that center idea that no, Mahomes, you are not God. We don't have magic wands. What we have to do, we have to keep working on that offensive line. I don't know. Maybe it's a work in progress. I haven't watched tape of Kansas City. I'm not. It just sounds to me from the little bit I've seen that those parts aren't working like they used to. And he's stretching. He's pushing. He's extending more than he needs to.
Well, when you're paying him $500 million and those pieces are going to start leaving here soon, you ain't going to be able to afford certain players when you're paying $500 million to a quarterback.
That's another thing. They're falling into the MLB. MLB. And the problem with the MLB is fine. Boston and all those guys, they can afford it, but it's at the cost of the rest of the league. Because they're going to ask for more and more and more, and then it's like teams can only, and then you get stuck with these guys.
Yep.
You just think if like these baseball players, a lot of times you can't even move them.
No. And
they're slumping, and you're paying, and it's just a bad business model. It should be more like old Slarth says. It should be more like a meritocracy, like. Here is your multi-millions here if you're a number one, number two, if you produce. Now, how do you gauge that with a linebacker? How do you, Von Miller, sacks. Well, like you said, it's not about sacks. It's more about pressures. Can you get somebody off their spot? Can you get them to throw an errant throw? I mean, that's just as good as a sack. Well, maybe not as good, but it gets the job done. Regardless. Yep. So you got to think about those terms. Yeah, it's a dicey game, and like you said, Mahomes is going to be in the same situation that our quarterback's in, and he's going to have not so great player personnel around them, this kind of thing. So this is a Dallas review, but I do want to talk about the film that I showed. So somebody's saying it's highlight. Well, it's hard to call it a highlight. I did manage to throw in some coaches film in there, especially when it came to Justin Simmons. That was all coaches film. I mean, the guy's like, he might as well have been in the end zone. He was back so far. But this is what I don't understand. If you tell me that that's his job, then how come he can't help anybody over the top? He never helps anybody over the top. If he's that far back, and you're saying he has to be that far back to help over the top, I haven't seen him once help over the top. Have you? No. So he was so a lot of those plays he was so soft.
Yeah, and that's. I don't know what more I could say to these John Elway specifically and his followers and the fans to make him fucking realize that Justin Simmons is an overpaid, overhyped player, okay? He thinks that he's some Steve Atwater type shit, and he's not. You are no Steve Atwater, buddy. You're no Brian Dawkins, and you're not a TJ Ward. I mean, for goodness sake, if you're gonna put him down in the box, at least be like TJ fucking Ward, like they used him in the Super Bowl run. Okay, you want to say that he's covering fucking running backs, but yet you have a guy named TJ Ward who actually did that really well, who hit people. This guy just goes for the little, oh, I tackled you, I'll just push you out of bounds. Stuff like that.
I could even live with that. Well,
But
the part I'm really not happy with is the amount of space that guy gives.
But it doesn't matter the amount of space this guy gives. His football IQ is dog shit. It's terrible. Because what you just said, the room that he gives these players, he just doesn't want to get beat over the top. Why do you think that is, ladies and gentlemen? Because he doesn't have the makeup speed to do it.
Well, he doesn't have the coverage ability then, too.
But when I think about the great defenses in NFL history, because they're comparing this to the 2015 defense before the season, what is the number one aspect of a great defense? Know how to fucking tackle. Before you even get to that, get to the fundamentals of on how to play defense. You tackle properly. They don't even do that right. Oh, but that's all Vic Fangio, right? How about you look at the player personnel that actually wants to take the coaching? Because these idiots don't want to. No offense, but
wait, time out. Didn't Von Miller say something about that?
Yeah, he did. I'm just going off what Von Miller said, right? But I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, it's not just Von Miller. I think also Brown. I think it was Brown. Who's that? One of the Broncos. He was saying the same thing. Chad Brown. He was saying the same thing. He said, these players, it's like, oh, I had a good workout. I was in the weight room. I this and all these little, I did my job. He goes, man, you do your job out on that's all just the normal stuff. He said, why weren't you even back
on the football field, man?
Yeah, he says you're. As I said, the interview is on the football field. As a player, from junior high school or middle school, whatever they call it now, on up to the going up to the pros, you have something called a tape. What is a tape? It's your interview. That's why I said the interview is. Oh, I don't care what they say on camera. That doesn't mean anything. It's meaningless. The interview's always. That's why we show film. That's the interview process. You have. There's one angle you're looking at. You see Justin Simmons. I got another angle. Well, the bottom line is it's just not good. It's not good enough.
He's a terrible safety.
Yeah, and getting paid. See, and I said that I was going to put the microscope on him because he's getting all this money. You should have a microscope on him. He's getting called out by other people in the NFL.
Yeah, a guy named Mika Fitzpatrick, who's a better player. Okay.
Yeah, he's getting called out for a reason. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, because he doesn't deserve that money. And when it comes to
the money is.
Hold on. We should also put the spotlight on Shelby Harris too, because he's going to pay 3 years, $27 million.
And you know what? The commenters were right about that. Yes.
And Shelby Harris can't even. I understand where people are coming from with that, but you cannot sit there and tell me with the whole Draymond Jones argument, you guys weren't defending that shit, comparing him to an Aaron Donald and a DeForest Buckner. I mean, give me a fucking break with that shit.
Okay? And what happens? What happens?
Proven wrong again. They got proven wrong once again. They go in their little fucking holes. And Draymond Jones had a sack and a half last week against a third string guard.
That's my point. I said you'll watch. These people are going to come out and hype that up. And what was it? He's going to go and show that. Who's the guy in Dallas that he's going to show?
He's going to go and show Zach Martin, the second best guard in the National Football League.
Yeah, that's the mentality that's the garbage you're being fed out there.
Just letting you know that, ladies and gentlemen, that's the shit you listen to.
Yeah, he's going up. He's going up against the real deal next week.
Offensive line this week, baby.
Yeah, and it's going to be kind of Cleveland Brown 2.0, punch you in the face, ram it down your throat.
Yep.
We'll get into that in a minute. So just to wrap up this film study is that it was two with the no names. It was just two bad teams. It was two cellar dwellers slugging it out. So with that said, we're at the 30-minute mark with all our bitching and complaining. What do you see with this Dallas? What do you see with Dallas?
Well, number one, Dak Prescott's playing. Dak Prescott's playing. Let me just say this. Their offensive line is a top 3 unit in the National Football League, maybe the best unit in the National Football League.
Question. Does that mean Jerry Jones has finally figured it out, at least from the core level? Just asking.
Maybe. I think it has a lot to do with his brother and his ear telling him that you got to do it this way, more than Jerry Jones.
Correct. Wasn't Jerry Jones another one of these Al Davis, John Elway types, the receivers?
Yeah, he was going to trade it for Paxton Lynch, and then his brother said, no, we got to go in a different direction. We got to get a linebacker or, something like that.
So he was, Jerry Jones trends Elway.
Yeah, and he's lucky he has his brother in his ear. I'd rather, that'd be a great guy to bring in. He knows what the deal is up there. When it comes to that offensive line, and everybody's like, wow, what you talk about the offensive line so much, because that's the basis of what I look at before I start looking at the outer pieces on a football team. I always start and look at the offensive line.
Talk to Patrick Mahomes about that one.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, good one. Tyron Smith is out. I think he is a top 3 left tackle when healthy, but the problem is he hasn't been healthy. They have a rotation of tackles they're developing. Steele, I think it's Naseki. I believe. Don't believe me on that. You can do your research. But Steele is going to play left tackle. Landon Collins is coming back from suspension. He's a top 5 right tackle in the National Football League. They have a guy named Connor Williams who is at least a top 10 guard, top 15 guard. You have Tyler Biadasz, who is probably the weakness on that offensive line, but he's way better than Lloyd Cushenberry. I mean, it's not even close. Oh, and they got him out of Wisconsin, by the way. Zach Martin, second best guard behind Quentin Nelson in the National Football League, and then you have Landon Collins, who's one of the best right tackles when he's on the field. So that they are going to run the rock. They have 2 guys, Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard, who I think Tony Pollard is more dangerous than Ezekiel Elliott because he has more of he has the ability to catch the ball out of the backfield, and he's more shifty when it comes to running in between tackles. He's more of your Philip Lindsay type player. So you go back and watch the Cleveland Browns game. It's going to be exactly like that. They're going to do the play action game off of that, like the Cleveland Browns did. And they're going to hit CeeDee Lamb, who's better than Jerry Jeudy, by the way, and Amari Cooper, who's better than Jerry Jeudy, by the way. Those guys are going to eat. They're going to do those big play action passes. They're going to roll Dak Prescott out. He's going to have time in the pocket, read War and Peace, and just dump it to the wide receivers and the running backs.
So how does the wide receiver core for the Cowboys look?
They have a guy named CeeDee Lamb who, I said was better than Jerry Jeudy coming out of college. And look how he's producing in Dallas. And then you have Amari Cooper, who is, I believe, up there with Devontae Adams as one of the best route runners in football, not Jerry Jeudy. I'm talking about separation and route running together. He's the best at that, with Devontae Adams up there in Pittsburgh or Green Bay.
So we should talk about player personnel here. So we had a chance to CeeDee Lamb it, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So somebody is getting those top picks, and I would say that somebody is John Elway. That somebody is John Elway picking Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy. And they also have a guy named Albert Wilson, who is kind of like a KJ Hamler type player, who's very speedy. And I guarantee you him and Blake Jarwin are going to eat on Justin Simmons in this linebacking core. I guarantee it, they're going to run the ball right at the linebackers, and they're just going to throw it over the top towards Simmons and Kareem Jackson. They're just going to hit the middle of the field all day long this week. Guarantee you.
Now, there's something else with my film review. That brings up a topic is I noticed, and I showcased it, how teams tend to want to hit the Denver Broncos to the right side, where it happens to be whose side of the field? Say it again.
Draymond Jones.
Well, that's Draymond. I'm talking about hitting receivers.
That's Patrick Surtain.
Justin Simmons, Patrick Surtain side of the field. That's where, and I showcase that because that is exactly where most of the. And again, that is something not to be spoken on those other platforms. Yeah.
What?
Home Alone. You froze. I wanted to freeze too. Yeah. Home Alone. Oh God. Yeah. So we can't talk about that. That's a no-no. So do you see a very long day for the Denver Broncos coming up?
Offensive and defensively.
Just beat the shit by player personnel?
They're going to get punched in the mouth.
Player personnel.
Oh, yep. And I want to talk about this defense for the Cowgirls. Oh, man. You can run on this defense. Do I trust Pat Shurmur to do that? Fuck no. Okay? I don't trust Pat Shurmur to run. You can run on this defense with the Cowgirls. But do I trust Pat Shurmur to do that? No, because he's a dumbass. Same with Elway. Okay.
Well, I'm hearing sports talk radios, promoting. We need more of those 3 wide receiver sets and bombs down the middle. I wonder where they're getting that talking point from.
Huh?
I wonder where they're getting that talking point from. Yeah. John Elway, you think? He wanted it. He wanted
Mike McCoy. He wanted the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
Bombs
away.
Who did the Cowboys draft this year? Micah Parsons. And what did I say about Micah Parsons? Drafting as if you use him in a versatile way, he can make a difference for you. But I don't know what I'm talking about, right? I said he fits a certain scheme. He fits this scheme to a fucking T. And they also have a guy named Randy Gregory from Nebraska. Nebraska sucks, I know. And they also have Tyler Basham, but everything is predicated with them. They blitz a lot. And they run that 4-3 cover 3 scheme from Seattle. So they have a guy named Leighton Vander Esch, who's a linebacker for him, who to me is a top 10 linebacker in this league, who is great in coverage and is an excellent tackler, and he's going to hit you in the face. So just saying, and their corners are no joke either. We're going to talk about corners. Their corners are no joke either. So this defense is going to come after Bridgewater. He might get hurt in this game.
So how's their pass pro? How's their pass rush?
Pretty damn good.
So they're not as good stopping the run, but they're better at pass rush.
Yeah. You know how you remember when we were watching the Raider game, how they were using them very creatively in their pass rushing setups? That's exactly the same type of system they run in Dallas.
So how come we can't have Shurmur do something like dropping a tight end, and I'm going to go back to the film too.
Hold on. I don't think he is that creative enough to do that.
Or dropping a halfback back there to, they all come in just.
He doesn't know how to do that.
I know. It just seems like he doesn't get that. I'm expecting that, and it never comes.
No, he wants his system run his way, and he's like Elway. I want to run this way. The 3 wide receiver sets. Against the lesser teams, Mike Munchak, you could have your Rich Scangarello type offense. But when we go against the good teams in the National Football League, I'm going to be dead set on running those 3 wide receiver sets.
So you think that what you're going to see is what STR was, putting out the Elway point of, waiting for you.
Yeah, and I told you they were going to start Bridgewater because that's all they talked about. And I'm telling you, if they're talking about that more frequently, it's going to happen because they're telling you before they do it. They're telling you. They think you're stupid.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't expect it to be any other way because we knew from the very beginning that there was really never a quarterback competition. We said it. We said, this is Bridgewater. It's all the way. It doesn't matter what Bridgewater does. And it doesn't matter what Locke does. This is going to be Bridgewater.
Yep, this is Bridgewater show.
Yeah, and it was from the very beginning. It never had anything to do with Locke or the competition.
Wait, who said they were going to trade for Teddy Bridgewater? Shocker.
It wasn't going to be Matthew Stafford. It was going to be
Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah.
Bridgewater.
Matthew Stafford was a shoo-in. Remember that. Don't forget that. We never said that. Roll the tapes. Roll the fucking tapes.
Roll the tapes. You go back in their archive. They titled it that. Is a shoo-in.
Yep. He's a shoo-in.
Yeah. Well, they're lying to you again. Wrong again. Wrong again. Wrong again. Wrong again.
Well, we never said 20-plus yards. What have they been starting to do ever since after the Jets game? 20 yards, throw it deep. 20 yards, throw it deep.
We didn't say that. We're backpedaling.
Yeah, we never said that. You're delusional. You buy our products.
Backpedal. Yeah, buy our merch.
Yeah, buy our merch. We get paid for it.
Buy our merch. Maybe we should get some merch so all 3 people can buy the merch. We got 3 people that bought our merch.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say something else. I think I was going to say going back to the film again. I talked about hitting that right side. I know that there was something else that, I saw going into this game too. Yes, I think we've discussed it all. The not dropping, Oh, no, I know what I want to discuss now. The role of Fant and how they use Fant and all these. It's like. And then how they use who was Albert O's pick versus who the Fant pick was?
Albert O was Elway's pick, and Noah Fant was Rich Scangarillo's pick.
Yeah, and you notice how they how they set up the blocking for a throw to Albert O?
Yeah, but they don't do that with Fant.
When I showed you in the film, I used the all 22, but I showed where Fant was wide open. What you had is you had Fant, and you had Alberto, and then they went down and they crossed. It was Fant was wide open, and he was beyond the sticks. They won't throw to him.
Of course not, because he's a terrible player.
I'm sure STR is having a field day with that.
Yeah, Sandy Clough is specifically.
Yeah, see, it's another. We got to drum him out too, and if he gets in the right system, he'll flourish.
Yep, and where's Garret Holds is going to be out in this game, so there goes our left side.
I don't even know who they have.
Calvin.
Calvin Anderson, right? Wow.
Randy Gregory. He's gonna have a field day on Anderson.
Well, what's going to happen? Oh, that's where I would definitely capitalize on that. And what's going to happen is that Reisner's going to get caught up trying to help, and that's going to that whole left side's going to go.
Yep.
Good luck. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you this, if Shurnur thinks he's going to do these 20-plus yard passes on this game, he should be fired.
He won't.
I think you're right. I think this game may just see Bridgewater. They may have to put Locke in this one because it may just be a one direct shot after another.
Yep.
And there may be INTs in this one, and it ain't going to be us getting them. It's going to be us giving.
I think this is going to be a beatdown. From what's happening on the defense with Von Miller gone And, he was a rift in the locker room, apparently. Get the fuck out of here with that shit. No, he wasn't. He wanted out of here. He didn't want to be in your stupid organization anymore. Sucks to be Bronco fans, but this is the hard truth. No one wants to come here anymore.
No, they don't.
And we're going to be punched in the mouth, and we're not going to respond because I said once this team hits adversity, they're going to crumble and start yelling at their coaches. And you're probably going to see that again. And you're going to see Bridgewater get hurt. You're going to have Locke come in here, and they're going to continue to bury Locke, which they've already done. And they're going to continue to throw it deep. Shurnur's going to be like, oh, my God, I got to keep throwing it deep. We're down by 20 points.
Well, Locke better get his running shoes on because, yeah, he may have to just get the ball and run. But I'll tell you what, if I'm Locke, this is what I'm doing. I'm saying I need to have a meeting with, I got to have a meeting with Mike Munchak, our offensive line coach, just private little meeting, just me and you. And I'm going to say, look, Mike, you're going to have to pull a mutiny here because if I get in, I'm not going to sit here and drop and get hit and get killed. If that got Bridgewater killed, we need to run this Rich Scangarello on these guys. Do it old school. Do it like we did back in the day. That's what I would say.
Yep.
If I was Locke, because I'm not going to be set up just to get just to get killed. I need to let him come in. Yeah, you can come in, and then let's do this smart. And I'm going to put somebody out there real quick. I'm going to just get rid of that, and off they're going to go. That's not the Shurnur way, and I'm going to get them to back off on that. I'll hit them every single time until they back off. That would be me. Talking to, I said, Mike Munchak, you've got, because I'm not going to get it from Shurnur. Forget it. You've got to go rogue. You have to go completely rogue, and we got to do this, the old school way. If he gets killed, if Shurnur gets that guy killed, and you want me to come in, I ain't going to get killed. We need to do this the right way. We'll use Fant the right way. He doesn't have to block, but I'll be waiting for him to turn around and catch the ball.
I agree with everything you said.
I just hope that linebacker doesn't get to him.
Micah Parsons, yeah.
Yeah. So it seems like it's the real deal coming.
Yeah, this isn't the Washington football team, the Washington no names, the Redskins. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
This isn't. Yeah, this is a completely different team. They're set up just like the Browns. Their offensive line is top notch, and you're going to see it. And I guarantee you, when we do our post game video, we're going to be like, "Where was Draymond Jones in this game? You guys said he was going to go in and show Zach fucking Martin."
Yeah.
Whatever. You guys are a joke. Sorry,
yeah.
but
no. He's definitely going to be a nowhere man.
Yep. And same with Shelby Harris, and same with Justin Simmons. I can see Justin Simmons getting exposed just like he did with the Raiders in this game. It's going to be. I guarantee you that game is going to be somewhat similar to what we saw in Mile High.
Well, so if you think it could be similar to a kind of a mix between Cleveland and the Raiders.
Yeah. But they have more firepower than both those teams combined on offense.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. This could be a blowout. This could be a beatdown of all proportions. They
fire Vic Fangio. It's all him.
Yeah. And they're going to be wishing Von Miller was back. That's going to be a huge loss. Because you know what? You know how me and you predicate defensive line play, front seven play? Well, he did great out of all the people on that linebacking in that front seven. He sealed the edge. He was a great run defender on that right side or on the left side. He sealed the edge. He got better at that as his career got on. But that is gonna be, they could have run that. And they started doing that last week, the football team. They started throwing it on that side, and they started running on that side because they had nobody to seal the edge like Von Miller did.
Yeah, they thought they would test that. So they also, there you go. Your resume or your interview is on the film.
Yep.
And you can guarantee the Cowboy organization and all those players are looking at Broncos film, looking at it.
They're probably laughing and like, we can kick these guys' ass. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's go, because no Von Miller. Let's go and exploit that. Garret Holds. They got. Yeah. Oh, so that guy. Yeah, this is the highest paid. Let's go take that guy out. Yeah, and Garret Holds. We'll exploit that big time. We'll just we'll collapse Anderson and Reisner. We'll just collapse.
Barry.
Oh yeah, they could really take. True, they could probably take out the entire center to left side.
Yep. And Glasgow. Massey's played really. I think Massey, out of all the linemen, you want to talk about lineman play? I haven't heard anything from him over the past 2-3 weeks.
Well, here's the thing. I'm not impressed with his run blocking at all. I'm absolutely not impressed with that. But pass blocking, yes, and that's the kind of, and I don't think that Massey's really doing anything spectacular, and he's still better pass pro than what we got.
If you were going to put Massey on the left side and that's all he did was pass pro, that's my opinion. I think as a right tackle, you need to be a great run. You need to be a great run blocker.
Yeah, he isn't. I know watching the film, there's run blocking. It's not very good.
He's better than Garret Holds is this year.
Run blocking. Yeah, I don't. I'm trying to think if they.
And isn't that the thing you want from an offensive lineman? You don't hear from them.
Here's the thing. I don't get, and to agree with it doesn't seem like that run in, I have to look just to be sure. I don't want to misspeak, but in watching the film, they don't really run the ball behind Garret Holds very often.
Because he sucks at it.
Yeah, it may be, yeah. It may be that he sucks at it. I mean, but I'm just saying that it just seems, it just seems to me that, I got a text message, so I apologize. It just seems to me that they don't run behind him very often.
They don't really run behind this offensive line often because Shurnur sucks at it and their offensive line sucks.
It does, and it just seems like they try to, and it just gets shut down. There's just, they can't really.
It'll be another product of Lindsey, and we'll get rid of him, and he'll go shine somewhere else.
Well, Williams.
Yeah, Javonte Williams.
Yeah, it seems like this blocking this lack of run blocking by this team is curbing his development.
Yeah, and he's
hurting his development.
It's making him go outside. We saw that a lot last week.
Yes, and I showed that in the film.
Blockers in front of him anymore. That's why he's going outside.
Yeah, even though that I realize that they suck, he still has to learn patience anyway. For his own sake, just for his own sake.
If you're a running back, and I understand where you're coming from, but if you are a running back and you're going behind Cushenberry, Reisner, and Glasgow, I mean, just ask yourself that.
No, I know. I did. I know what you're saying, but you still have to be patient. And then you go to the coach and say, I can't run through this because, and you say, I'll bounce it out once in a while. But I'll tell you one thing Parsons is good at is that sideline to sideline number. He ain't going to let Williams get around him sideline to sideline. It ain't going to happen.
He is a very unique player, Michael Parsons. And I said if you use him in a versatile way, I guarantee you that's why Fangio made the call to him. And that's why they would have picked him, because he's very versatile. Maybe to replace him with Von Miller. That's what's going to happen when you draft a fucking corner. Unbelievable.
Corner. I got a clown car full of them.
Honk.
Yeah. Oh. Now, Sandy Clough was trying to make the point that Surtain he's up for a defensive player, a rookie player, and
oh my God, what is he smoking?
Yeah, I don't know. And it seems to me Elway really wants him in the slot too.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yep. I can see that because Bryce Callahan, their best corner, got hurt because of Simmons' idiotic, dumbass shit.
Yeah. Yeah. What's the status of Callahan?
He's on IR.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So I'm not smoking anything. He is on, and now Elway gets his wish. You're going right into the slot. And what did because Elway knows, he knows defense so well. And with all the pressure that was being put on Vic Fangio to put not only just draft Surtain, but put him in the slot to shut us up, right? To say we don't need Callahan. We don't need Callahan. I'm so smart. I'm Elway. I can tell you about defense. Tells the defensive coach, the guy that knows about defense. I know more than you. Surtain, you go. We want you in the slot. So again, what was during the press conference? What was Fangio's his body language and what he said about putting Surtain in the slot? What was it?
He felt uncomfortable doing it.
I'm gonna do the imitation for you. He was like, yeah, it's asking him a lot. Yeah.
Because he knows what me and you know. He needs the sideline to his advantage. He doesn't have the hip fluidity and the recognition from a sideline to sideline standpoint to understand that you can't keep up with an Albert fucking Wilson or a Marquise Brown in the slot or a Henry Ruggs before he killed somebody in the slot.
Yeah. Now, what did we see on film when Surtain was in the slot?
He got exposed quite frequently. Remember? Oh, he said that he was going to be a lockdown against Travis Kelce and Darren Waller. You guys are stupid. I'm sorry. You guys are dumb. You guys are mentally. You guys have something that's you're going to feather your talking points, and then you actually believe the bullshit, and then you can't. Ah, man, your film review that you never show.
Yeah. Well, you just look at the film. I'll tell you. Let me tell you about what I saw in the film. I'm not going to show you. That Justin Simmons needed to be there. That was his. He needed to be running after that halfback. Yeah.
Simmons and Nick Ferguson, when we were bringing that play up on tape and we exposed it, guess who did it the next day? Nick Ferguson was defending the shit. And so was Cecil Lammey saying that, oh, no. It wasn't his fault. It was Kareem Jackson's fault now.
It wasn't even on Kareem Jackson's side of the field.
He was in the right position. And it was Simmons to go over Jackson and fucking defend that shit.
No.
That's idiotic bitches of Elway. Sorry.
No. That it wasn't even remotely that. You had Kareem Jackson and you had. I'm sorry. I'm looking at it. You had Justin Simmons. You had them on two different scenes. They were in there where they were supposed to be. Simmons, because he can't hang with anybody, and he does it all the time, lets people go. The guy that caught that pass for first down, he just let him go. Nobody was there. It's not Jackson. Jackson's got the other side of the field he has to contend with. That was on Justin Simmons' side of the field. Right in his area, too. It was right where he was supposed to be. It had nothing to do with Jackson at all. What then? Let's say this. If that's so true, why couldn't the linebacker? Why isn't the linebacker taking that halfback regardless?
Because
the linebacker taking the halfback regardless.
Because our linebackers can't cover halfbacks.
No. I don't care what they can or can't do. Scheme wise, why didn't they do? Why would that not? Why is not how that worked in Chicago?
Because they had Roquan Smith and Danny Trevathan who neutralized the middle of the field and the sideline to sideline ability, and then they kept Adrian Amos and Adrian Jackson back there to cover the second half of the field. But they had linebackers that were able to help out covering the running backs. But I'm not defending Justin Simmons because he absolutely sucks as a player.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, how could you ask? You got all the offensive players on his side of the field that he has to be accountable for. Why can't you ask Justin Simmons to be accounting for one receiver in his area?
Let me tell you why. Because you've said it many times on the videos that we do before on pregame and postgame. What is Elway doing with Simmons? He's hiding him.
He hides him. That's all what that was about. That was classic hiding Simmons. And he left the linebacker dry. Because the linebacker wanted to go after that. If you watch the film, the linebacker wanted to go after that halfback, but Justin Simmons was there, so he was like, what the fuck? Yeah. That's what I wanted to show with that play. You saw that, didn't you?
Obviously I saw it, because I see everything with Justin Simmons. When you look at the all 22, even the game pass, it happens quite often and people refuse to see it. So I agree. You're right on the money. I see it every week, and we're going to see it this week against the Cowgirls with Albert Wilson. They're going to put him on the slide with CeeDee Lamb on Surtain. They're going to have Amari Cooper on Ronald Darby, and they are just going to go over Simmons. Justin Simmons, you suck. I don't say that often with players, but dude, I'm telling you, when you go and talk to a coach and you bitch at him for a job that you're struggling to do because you're probably not taking the coaching because you've got all that money and you think you're the best in the world, that's where I have a problem with you, buddy. You're no Steve Atwater. You're not a Brian Dawkins. You're not a TJ Ward. So shut the fuck up, take the coaching, and understand that your job is not going to be safe when this new owner comes here, buddy, because you're going to be shipped away just like everybody else on this team.
Absolutely. So we got the water boy as a head coach while it lasts, because nobody in their right mind would come here to be a head coach. I guess unless they wanted to say, oh, I gave it a shot and the new owner, but why would you?
Right now, I'm telling you, Jeff Fisher, I want another go at this.
Yeah.
Here we go.
That it's just funny that it almost will be entertaining to see who's dumb enough to come here and volunteer themselves as a head coach.
Yep, I agree.
I have to say, is anybody talking about Shurnur leaving?
No.
So let me ask you just hypothetically, if somehow Shurnur's sticking around and they made him we'll call it interim head coach, would you see STR promoting that?
Yeah.
Now, they're saying Mike Munchak, but I could see something more like,
it's Shurnur. Come on, stop it, STR. Come on. God, you guys are dumb.
Because all they would do is sit and justify, and then they would say, it's all Payton. It's all Payton. George Payton. It's George Payton. George Payton did it. George Payton. Don't dare say Elway. Elway doesn't exist.
No, he doesn't. He's not in the building anymore.
No, he isn't. That'll give you one of those. Yeah. Give me the and then one last one. Hopium. 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 That's why I listen to Sports Talk Radio. I just need some more hopium just right here. Just please give me a fix. Just a really. They were drowning in it. They were drowning in their hopium. Now it's all dried up, and it's like, please, just give me a little. Who does STR agree is the hottest head coach prospect right now? Who's there? Who's the hot?
Ellen Moore, the Cowboys offensive coordinator.
Just right here. Just give it to me right here. Just give it to me right here. Just tell me he's going to be here. Gosh. Now, do you think that guy's dumb enough to leave the Cowboys for this gig?
This shit show? No.
Yeah. No, thank you, Mr. Elway. No, thank you, Mr. Elway.
Hope and
How much you want to bet? How much you want to bet? They want to play it like Elway doesn't exist. Don't. It's you're dealing with George Payton. You're not dealing with the meddling, Al Davis Elway. No. But who's going to fall for it? Somebody's going to fall for it, probably, right?
Yes.
They're not going to realize who's really calling the shot. Exactly. All right. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Me too. I think we'll wrap it up and we'll see. I would love to see them beat the Cowboys. I mean, that would be great, but it just doesn't. The mathematics just isn't there. Player personnel just isn't there.
No.
Although you think it was the fifth best, they keep telling you everything's the fifth best with that team, but it seems to be the fifth worst. At the fifth to the bottom or something, or maybe second to the bottom.
Yep, this team's a bottom feeder.
The best, what was it? Are they 4-4 now? The best 4-4 team out there. The best 4-4 team. The best 4-4 team out there.
Absolutely.
Or no, wait, that's the worst 4-4 team out there, right?
Yeah.
Hey, I'm sure Sandy Clef will give you a little take on how close they are to the playoffs. They're in that running for the hope. Yeah, there's the hope. The hopium. Yeah, the hopium. Oh. Well, we're gonna get that coach. Just see, we'll get that coach.
Kellen Moore, baby.
Yeah, all I have to say to any coach is you better do your homework because you're going to be in for a surprise when you find out how this organization is really being run.
Yep.
Okay, so another exciting episode. We got it. And you can go back to your nap. Yeah, well, that's what the other channels are for, to give them a shot of opium.
Alrighty.
All right, take care, man.
You too. Bye.
Bye.